Hey guys, it's Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to do a champion guide on a rare, which probably a lot of people have not seen properly in action. Since I've had to do, or not had to, since I've been enjoying these challenges against Stu, and there's been some really cool kind of rules that have been put in play, I've had to think outside the box. And this is one of the champions which has come to my attention that I actually had no idea how good a kit was. So what I'd say is, if you have not been fortunate enough to pull yourself an Apothecary, you're still in that kind of mid-game phase, you need some speed in your team, Diabolist, farmable champion from level 12, stage 12, is actually a pretty cool champ. So let's get into a kit and you'll see why. For me, she kind of comes in, similar role to what I play with a Bellower. Similar role to what I'd play with a War Maiden. She's that kind of support champion. She's going to get something done for your team, but she also massively benefits from being in a stun set, and I'll show you why. So she's got an A1 then, just attacks one enemy, and has got a 20% chance to put them to sleep. That's fine. It's not bad that there's some sort of debuff available. At least it gives you a chance to do something to control someone on the enemy team. But that's not what she's in your team for. This is the main reason she'd be in your team. 30% speed buff, so it's the big version of speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Really, really useful for dungeon clearing, for arena, for basically any area of the game. Speed is king. If you don't have speed running through your champions, then you are going to struggle to get through a lot of the content, especially in that mid game. So this brings us in, 3 turn cooldown, easy to book, farmable champion, easy to book, yeah? If you've pulled yourself a High Cartoon, but you do not have those books, she can be a really good sub for High Cartoon. If you don't have an Apothecary, she's a good sub for the Apothecary. And then this is what I really like about her, actually. So this ability here, 4 turn cooldown, fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%, decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15%, but this one hits. So you got, oh no, sorry, this one hits. This one is just a buff. So you're increasing turn meter of your team, decreasing turn meter of their team. Anything which throws turn meter manipulation both ways is super cool. This one hits, sorry. So this one hits and an AoE in a stun set. You've got a chance every 3 turns to throw out some stuns. And that's what I'm using her for. So I needed a speed champ to take down Stu. She was going to be, or she was my speed champ that did that in Dragons. But she also brings an AoE, and the AoE, when you've got a stun set on, just gives you more crowd control on waves. So let me give you a feel then for what I've done in terms of ratings. So Arena, she's very similar actually to High Cartoon. She's got turn meter decrease for them, turn meter increase for you, speed buff for you, potential chance to AoE and do some stuns or some damage. So I'd say she's probably a solid 3. If you're in the early game, she's probably more like a 4 for you. You know, speed is so important. If you do not have that speed champ, she's kind of sitting in between here. But if I'm rating her against the whole game, she can't be more than a 3. Campaign she can do, but she's kind of mid-tier. Arena defense, same sort of thing. She's kind of mid-tier, but decent champion. Any of the dungeon content, she's going to be a 4. Anyone that can come in and bring speed to your team, decrease speed from the enemies. Certainly Spider, she should be a 4 for you. Clan Boss, mid-tier, just because she'll be in there for that speed. If we're talking like super early, easy, normal, hard, whatever, those first 3 levels, then she can be decent for you. Fire Knights is probably the area where she kind of lacks a bit because she's only got single target stuff. But again, she can speed up your multi-hitters. She can decrease the turn meter of the Fire Knight. So again, she's probably mid-tier, 3 for that. Bearing in mind we've got a farmable rare here, guys. It's actually she's decent. Force Keep probably mid-tier. Dragons, I really like her for Dragons, 4 or 5. She can't reduce the turn meter of the actual dragon, but she can still buff your turn meter. And then all of the keeps, she's going to be coming in kind of mid-tier. Ice Golem, very nice spot for her, and Ice Golem as well. And then Faction Wars, pretty decent. So look, she's not going to absolutely transform a setup, but she is going to come in and do some work for you. And I would definitely recommend putting in a stun set or a set that does some sort of CC. Day set, stun set, any others which do the same sort of thing that I'm not thinking of. I think they're probably the main two. Frost set does not work the same. Anyone who's going to watch this and say, why not Frost set? Frost set, you have to be hit to activate Frost. Stun, daze, you hit them to activate the debuff. That's the difference. I think that's probably it for kind of key sets for her. You could just go like all out speed and get that speed buff back as quick as possible. But I actually really like the opportunity to put some CC on her as well. How have I got a gear then? So I've gone for crit rate on these gloves. We've gone for attack percentage on the chest. And I've gone for speed on the boots. That's because I'm at the end game and I've got a crazy great haul. If you guys are doing this and you're kind of mid-game, I would suggest you go HP on the gloves, HP on the chest, speed on the boots. Yeah? I would also go defense on the ring, defense on the amulet, and accuracy on the banner if you can. And that's probably about it. Oh, I'll show you what masteries I've put on there as well. This is all set up from when I took on Stu, so it's a reasonable build here. And then I've gone for War Master. War Master's important on her because she's not going to do a ton of damage. So she needs ways to do damage. She has an AoE hit. When the AoE hit lands, you're going to get a War Master proc on half of them, basically. And half of them taking War Master hits is actually quite good damage. I've done this as a pure sort of dungeon build or arena build. So this into this down here. This will give you crit damage, more damage when you're full HP. Chance to increase some speed if she kills people. Bigger hit when she hits first time round. Chance to regen an ability. We want that speed ability back as often as possible. That one kind of mirrors this one. Small chance, but you've got a chance to get that ability back. And then if she kills stuff, she does more damage. This is where her damage comes from. This is really important as well. Evil Eye, she's got a single target A1. When she hits, she's going to get that decreased turn meter. And then lasting gifts is important because you want to extend that speed buff. If you can get the speed buff out for 3 turns instead of 2 turns, that is really huge for you. So good speed champ. That's how I've got her masteries done. Let's get into some content. So I'll show you her in campaign. I don't even know if she's going to be able to do 12-3 actually. Let's see. Not these ones. These are the free ones I got. They will not be able to do it for sure. She's the right affinity, so that helps for the farming level of campaign. 12-3 is generally where you're going to want to be to get the best kind of silver return for your efforts and the best, that's actually quite a good hit, and the best return in terms of XP. Those two double up best at 12-3. So you see she does on auto. The first one she does is this AoE hit. The second one she does is the kind of drop turn meter, and then a third one she'll do is RA1. But actually, you know what? We've cleared this pretty fast here. If my food champs had died earlier, we would be absolutely clearing this no trouble at all. So we're talking about a 30-second clear on a kind of normal. Maybe I've got too strong a food here. I should have put some weaker ones in. But 30-odd second clear for a farmable rare, as long as you get her up to 100% crit rate, it's pretty good. Actually, very good. It's better than I thought it was going to be. All right, so we're going to go into Dragon's Den. This is the sort of team that can make some sense here. Speed is going to come from Diabolist, yeah? Speed and crowd control. War Maiden is going to bring us decreased defense. Painkeeper is a bit of a healer, stroke, cooldown reduction champ. We've then got some damage coming out from the Cold Heart, and we have got ourselves some poison coming from Kale. So this should be a good setup here. Let's see how we run. See how it runs. You see there, we've got the first CC hit go out. Second one goes out as well. 2 of them totally stunned up. That's the stun set that's doing work for us. As long as you've got stuns going out, they are struggling to do damage to you. So important, guys. Like stun sets, I can't even stress it enough. Stun sets make a massive difference to your teams if you're struggling to get through waves. Don't think about, I'm just going to increase damage more, increase damage more, increase damage more. Forget it. Pull it back and start to get crowd control in your team. Stun set on again. 1, 2, 3 stuns. That's 2 people in stun sets, hitting for AoEs. 3 people stunned up out of a wave of 5. What are they going to do? One person's going to come and hit you. All right, they might kill one of your team. That's not ideal. But I tell you what, 1 person dead instead of 4 people dead is a much better place to be. As long as you can get your poisons through to that dragon phase with a bit of healing or a bit of a bit of healing really, then you've got a good chance. Stand up again, can't finish the job on the cold heart, so we're through to the dragon at least with a. I mean, it'd be good if we had a heart seeker to go off at some point. She's going to die soon. We do have some healing coming in from Painkeeper though, so Painkeeper's going to keep her alive for a little while. And then we've got Kale's going to be the one doing most of the work on poisons. You see, most of these guys have got War Master on because that's how you do your damage against a dragon if you don't have poisons going. Cold Heart's down, that's fine. Poison's going to do the work here for us. Get a speed up from Diabolist, that's what she's in there for. Decrease defense from War Maiden, that's what she's there for. And then Kale is just in there throwing the poisons out. Diabolist drops at this point. Basically, her job is done. She's got everyone fast. Poisoners are doing their damage. Healers are in there just kind of keeping us ticking over with that Painkeeper heal. And, you know, we should get to a point here. All of this purple bar is going to chunk down 100% from the poisons we've already got on it. So I'm not worried about the Scorch ability here. See that? No worry at all. And Painkeeper and Kale, only ones left. Doesn't matter at all. It's all about, can you beat the boss? Can we beat the boss? 100% sure we can. All rares, no worries. I've got a good great haul. That is giving me a bit of a kind of boost here. So you might, but then, you know, what's the chances you've got to stage 20, you've only got rares? Chances are you've got the improvements across the board as well. Cold Heart basically did nothing. Kale was the damage dealer. Diabolist is there just for that support play. So let's check out then spiders. So where would I think, if you're still using a Diabolist, where are you going to be? You're probably around mid-game here, stage 14, 15. So let's throw her into more like the team that you might actually be trying to face. So you may be going with AoE damage dealers like, let's have a think. Maybe run a similar sort of team. So who would I put in? Yeah, maybe, actually I won't go for green. Let's go for a void. Just because I want to show a couple of different champions. So we'd put Kale in there. We'd put probably Soulbound in there. If you had a Diabolist comes in for your speed. You know, Cold Heart would be an obvious play. I'm not going to do the Cold Heart. Armor Good could do the job as well. And then probably someone in here just to keep the heals going and that sort of thing. So, and the cleanse. So this is a kind of, you know, a mid-game sort of looking team. If you haven't been lucky to pull some of the good epics, then you, basically at this stage, you're just trying to do damage. You're just trying to AoE damage, decrease turn meter of the boss at the same time. So we've got 3 people in there that can do decent AoE. We've got turn meter coming in from Armiger. We've got speed up coming from my Diabolist. And then we've got Reliquary Tender in there just to drop the heals, just to do some decreased attack on the boss. And we're just recycling those abilities as often as we can. We've got to keep the Spiderlings in check with damage and turn meter control. Diabolist does a good job of that. We've got to then keep the main spider in play with dropping turn meter. Yeah, so at the moment we haven't taken a single hit from anything. That is like an ideal scenario for mid-game spider. You're nuking the Spiderlings and you are controlling turn meter of the boss. Now I've got an almost ideal setup here and I've got a good great haul and all that stuff. Yeah, I get all that, but I'm just trying to give you the sense of what should a team look like and where does Diabolist play a part in this. And just keeping that 30% speed up. So think about it. Most of my guys here are running 200 speed. 30% more. So I'm putting an extra 60 speed on every one of my champs, roughly. If you're running at 150 speed, not 200, you know what you're doing? You're putting an extra, what's that? I don't know. I don't know. 45 is it? I don't know. Anyway, you're putting an extra... My mind's gone blank. Yeah, 45, I think. 45 speed on your champs, which is a lot. Pushes you back up to that 200 mark, so it's a lot. 3 stuns there. Anyone who's alive, still stunned up. Just absolutely clutch. Stun set on an AoE champ is clutch. Can't say it enough times. It's so good. So good. And this is an absolute easy clear. I know I'm on an easy level here. For me, So I don't expect at any point for this not to be an easy clear. I'm just trying to show you some different techniques. Actually, the spider got a turn. I'm surprised it did. So I've got people here that drop 10 meter a lot. Doesn't matter though. We're absolutely through this. If we had someone with like a decreased defense in this team as well, we already would have done it easy, or a weaken. But you can kind of just see that the logic of it. I haven't just put all my hardest damage dealers in here. I'd do it quicker maybe, or maybe I'd lose. Just damage is not enough. You need support in your team setups. And, you know, Reliquary Tender's a great support if you're lucky enough to pull her. But Diabolist is absolutely free to farm, and she is a good support champion. Just make sure you build her so she's tanky enough to take a hit, and she's fast enough to be relevant to do her speed increase. Here we go, AoE, speed increase all the way around. Lasting Gifts kicking in there. See, we've got free procs on 3 different people. Lasting Gifts, great ability on her if you can get those masteries done. We're almost finished here. 3-minute run. It's slow. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Other than those people that just turned off the video because they got bored. But there we go. So that is that. I can't sell it here. Wish I could. But you see here, she's done 1 million damage. Much bigger than the Armador, actually. He was in there just for turn meter and that setup. But you see here, she is doing some work. And we've got the same type of thing. So Finite is not really her spot. She'll get you through the waves in the same way. So she can crowd control the waves. She can speed you up. But she's not, and she'll do a bit of turn meter manipulation on the Finite, but not a lot. And Ice Golems, I'll show you Ice Golems, I guess, before we jump into the arena. So she's a good affinity again for highest level, if that's where you're at. I do need a decreased defense champ. I'll probably bring myself a who do we want to bring? Maybe I'll bring my Tomb Lord in just because he's cool. And he brings some poison as well. Could bring in a Light Sworn as he built. Yeah, that'll do. Got 4, just need 1 more. So I've got decreased defense, decreased attack, speed, bit of damage on the waves, a bit of support for my guys, increased defense and so what. And then we're just bringing in 1 more. What else do I need? Probably just that heal really. So probably someone like Reliquary Tender again would do the job. Painkeeper could do the job. Just keeping people topped off. That'll do. Keeping people topped off. Painkeeper also brings that that ability to decrease cooldowns. Ideally, if you do this in an ideal way, you have your decrease defense champion go first. You then have your nuke. Then you have your crowd control, and then you have someone like a Painkeeper go last. She will then decrease the cooldowns of all of those abilities, so that for your next wave, you've got them back. Didn't do it that way, but that's the kind of ideal scenario of how to do it. On to wave 2 then. We just need to wait now. Here's, see that decreased cooldowns right across the board. That's what you want at this stage. You also now want some AoE stuff to just try and control some of this front section of the wave. We've got 1 of them on stun. It's a shame. If we'd landed 2 there, we absolutely crucify this wave, because that Shriek ability is what does the damage right now. But you see, these are already low. So these are low, which means that I'm not particularly worried about all my team dying. Sometimes this is a really threatening time, because if everyone's got Shriek out, wow, you can lose your whole team. We've got a defense up going on. Sometimes that A1 can throw a sleep out, which is nice. Just do a bit of a heal, Painkeeper. What are you playing at? Painkeeper's going to go down. Oh, she's lived. She's lived. So see that double stun on the front 2 ads. It's massive, massive. So this is going to be slow. I've not got a team in here that are going to do this fast. So I'm going to skip forward to the end. Otherwise, we're all going to be bored, me included. But you can see the type of setup we've got. We're just crowd controlling. We're just sort of slamming our way through. Tomb Lord's going to do work. All those poisons will do a lot of work for us here. But I'll skip it through. Well, didn't even do it. Didn't do it because I didn't have enough healing going on. But you get the idea. I can't be bothered to rerun it just to show you a completed run. I needed more healing. Painkeeper didn't do as much healing as I thought she would. But yeah, so you get the idea. She can be super effective just to keep your team running fast, getting yourself through those levels. And that's what you want. So you want to be able to constantly keep your speed up. So the other place where she's going to be useful for you mainly is the arena. So if you are sitting in gold 4, like I am now, low gold 4, so just had the reset, and you need somebody that is going to come in and be your speed increase. So what do you need for this sort of level? You need someone who's a speed lead, ideally. So I've got a Skull Crown. Here is an option, a speed lead. I think she's Factoring Crypts, yeah. Who else is there? Who else can we put in? Hykertoon would be one, but this is kind of a replacement for Hykertoon. Who else do we have for the arena? Someone like a Kymar would be insanely good if you've managed to get one. Arbiter is obviously very good as well. But yeah, she can come in and she can be your speed up to follow that speed lead. So I'm going to put Skull Crown in. Let's go for my one that's in stun set rather than my one that's just going to nuke everyone to death. So she comes in. She's got a speed lead. So she gives us 23% more speed. Speed auras are based on your base speed. So if you've got a base speed of 97, you're going to get another 23% of that. So you're going to get yourself about another 18 or so speed. No, 20 odd speed, 21. Diabolist then comes in and increases speed. So the difference is she increases the speed of your total speed number. So if you've got 200 speed, she'll give you 30% on the total number, which is massive. It's a massive number. So we've got these two. We're then going to need someone that's going to decrease defense, which is going to be our War Maiden. And then we want somebody that is probably going to do a bit of crowd control because Nuke's coming from Skull Crown. Bit of crowd control for us. Maybe someone like him. And this is the kind of, a decent setup for an arena team. So you go decrease defense. Ideally, that's your fastest jump. Makes you hit harder right across the board. Bit of crowd control. Speed up, but it's also a hit. That's what I like about this. It's a hit. So you've got a chance to crowd control, do damage, and speed up your team. And then you've got your nuker at the back end who's going to take some people down. That's the idea. And that's kind of, it's basically a cleave attack. You have a rhythm to it, which just kind of gives you that routine that you're going to win way more than you lose, as long as you've got the right sort of speeds running. We run the same sort of idea again. Good thing with this is you can have it as your defense because you can run this sort of setup as an auto run, and it'll do exactly what I just did there. So you see here, I've got 3 people in this team that can put stuns out. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's stunned up. By the time you get to your nuke, pretty much everyone's tired of you anyway. So if I put my absolute damage crazy Skull Crown in, she's really slow. She's got about 100 speed, yeah? Really, really slow. About as slow as you can get. She's got 0 speed on her at all. But she might get a turn because I've got so much stunnage going on. So if I go decrease defense, I've got a chance to stun here. Didn't get any that time. I've got a chance to stun here, 50%. I got 1, and then I've got a chance to stun here. I didn't get any. Typical. But I've also sped her up. So she was slow. She's now sped up. So now I've got my nuke coming in. Decreased defense is already out there. Stuns on this guy. So I can come in with the nukes. And I've got a good chance of winning the game because I've got so much chance to CC them. Stun's gone out again. I haven't got a chance. What are they going to do to me? Good luck, fella. You've got literally no idea how to win this game. Whereas my team is all about team synergy to win a game. And if you do not have a speed champ, anyone who watched our Gold Rush challenge, this might be tricky because it's tricky because they're faster than me. I still might win it because I've got strong champs, but the reason that got tricky for me is because they were faster than I was. But yeah, for anyone who watched Gold Rush, me versus Chosen versus Stu, Birdie, all of us guys, Cold Brew, why did I fail? I didn't have any speed in my arena team, and it was an arena race. So I was trying to bring out a tanky team. Tanky teams work towards the end of the game, but for this type of level, Gold 4, anything up to Gold 4, speed is king. The other guys went speed. They absolutely nailed it. I didn't. I thought about it wrongly, and I've gone for tanky players, and actually it's just not the right. It's not the right setup. So let's do one more. But yeah, so what do I think of her then? I mean, she's good utility. That's what she is. She's good utility. If you do not have a speed champ, I would suggest you can farm her, get her done, get her booked up for free, and then wait until you get yourself the better champions to come in. But if you don't have a speed champ, you should get her. You should get her for sure, because you need one. You need one in this game. You need one for all areas of the game. Decreasing their turn meter, increasing yours. Yeah, I've said it enough times. It's massive. It's massive in this game. Stun there on the A1. Thanks, Lugan. How's your counter attack looking? Not great because you're sleeping. So that's Diabolist. She's not going to set your world alight, but she is going to help you through the early stage of this game. Hope you like the guide. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you soon.